Hey, welcome to the flush. This is the first F of the fertility method. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I want to reiterate that I do not want you to get pregnant during this time. This is the detox part of our plan, and getting pregnant while you're detoxing is incredibly harmful to the baby and does increase your risk of miscarriage. Now, some things do happen, right? Accidents happen. That's okay. I want you to let me know immediately if you even suspect that an accident has happened and you might be pregnant, because we're going to stop the supplements that this phase incorporates and we are going to switch to trying to make sure that you aren't going to have a miscarriage in case you do get pregnant. Hopefully, don't mean to scare you, but I do want to really, really drive home. Do not get pregnant during these 2 weeks. And it is 2 weeks. The flush is intensive for a reason. I promise you can do it. It's a short time. Because we're stressing the body in a particular way by detoxing it, I want that to be your only stress during these 2 weeks. That means no excessive working out. In fact, I'd love for you to not work out at all. Just go for some walks, nice and easy. I also don't want you to have any kind of deadlines or trips or super stressful event, maybe like a family wedding, if that's something that's resourceful to you during this time. Makes sense? So the only thing that should be nice and spacious, leaving room for the detox to be what is stressing your body for those 2 weeks. Since we're detoxing, that means we're clearing out the liver. I want you to imagine the body as a graduated cylinder. It does have a certain capacity to deal with everything that we throw at it, and we throw a lot at the body. We throw chemicals, all of our fragrances that you did in your toxicity audit, viruses, fungus mold, medications, vaccinations, stress, and your hormones. The liver deals with all of those. The problem is that our input overloads the graduated cylinder's capacity, body's capacity. The body just wants to be healthy, so honestly, it kind of just dumps all the rest of it into the fat to be dealt with maybe, hopefully, potentially later, which we kind of never do because most of us don't lose weight. So we are really focusing on detoxing the body, trying to free up its capacity to deal with what we're throwing at it. We're helping to stabilize insulin and blood sugar, which is super important if you have anything like PCOS. We're also going to start targeting the gut microbiota in the flush itself. And we're going to be really working on reducing inflammation. So detox, inflammation, insulin. You might not know much about the liver, so we'll do a quick intro to it. The liver has 2 phases. Phase 1 breaks down toxins into tiny pieces, and phase 2 neutralizes those toxins. And it neutralizes them to the point where they are harmless and water soluble. Now, being water soluble, where do you think they go? They go into the stool or urine. And this is where we aren't just dealing with the biochemistry of the body, we're also dealing with the body mechanics itself, the fascia. If you're a person that struggles with passing stool, so if you have constipation, it means you are building up toxicity in the body. We're going to really cut down the time windows. You'll see different ranges if you ever do research on this. If you aren't pooping every 24 hours, you're a toxic person. Sorry. Urine, so how you have to pee. If you are feeling like you have to pee every hour or that you just go but like nothing happens, that can all be related to how the kidneys are functioning on both a chemical and physical level. So part of our plan moving forward is also going to be working on unwinding fascial tissue for you. Up above you can see phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 uses cytochrome P450 enzymes, supported by that whole list of nutrients, and that's what's all in your supplements you're going to be recommended to take. Phase 2 is conjugation, that neutralization, supported with that list of vitamins that's also in your supplements you're recommended to take. Moves it into water solubility and out. If any phases are lacking, toxins do build up. I want to have a quick comment on the MTHFR gene mutation. You may or may not know you have this. If you've ever done like 23andMe or any of the other DNA sequencers, sometimes they report it to you. Don't worry if you don't know All the supplements that I recommend that you take are bioavailable to even people with that gene mutation, because that gene mutation makes you a poor methylator. So if you're taking a B vitamin or folic acid, which is, you can see it's listed right there on phase 1, we don't want folic acid, we want methylfolate. We want it pre-methylated for us so the body can actually use it and not be exposed to greater toxicity. Supplements of the flesh. Supplements are truly, truly, I hate to say necessary, but damn near necessary to use during the flush. You can detox without it, but it is going to take longer and not be as effective as if we use some supplement. The Medipure in particular is what's called a medical food, and it's all of this nutrition that's been super concentrated to be the most bioavailable and also in sheer overwhelmed abundance. For example, you'd have to eat 8 pounds of Brussels sprouts to get the sulforaphane that's like in the medical food. I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat 8 pounds of Brussels sprouts. And we're using supplements because we want to imagine the liver is like a sponge, and our sponge is all gummed up like we just washed a pan with grease and butter, and now our sponge, we would rather just throw it out. Well, we can't throw out the liver, so instead we're going to use soap, and we're going to clean out the sponge. The soap is the supplements. Month 1, all supplements for everyone going through the fertility method has been the same. For the rest of this, you're going to have it curated just to you based on what you've submitted to me through your HAQ and also what your test results have been showing us. So this might look a little different, but these are the base supplements that most people will end up on. You will have a piece of paper in the supplement box that I send you with the flesh supplements, and I'll also email it to you so you can keep it on your phone if you need to. So, what is the flush? Other than taking supplements and trying to clear a liver like it's a dirty sponge. We are going to be removing the following list. Caffeine. Yes, I'm sorry. I am a coffee lover too. I hate removing the caffeine. Wheat and gluten. Corn. Soy. Now, soy's tricky. Most people think, oh, I don't eat tofu anyways. Soy is everywhere. It's in soybean oil, which almost all foods in America have now. It's also in soy lecithin. I want you to remove all of that. And you're removing processed foods, so unless you're putting it in yourself, you shouldn't be exposed to it. You're also removing dairy, alcohol for the 2 weeks, chicken. And that's because chicken is not a very nutrient-dense protein, so we want you getting really good nutrient-dense protein. Processed foods, and then I have listed here cannabis if possible. And that's because I'm a certified cannabis consultant and I understand that a lot of people use cannabis as medication. I do not want you stopping a medication that you're using for stress, anxiety, sleep, depression. This is a tool that you have been prescribed and we're going to treat it like that. It is helpful, however, to do a THC reset, which does take 2 weeks. So this would be a great time when you start back up again. Your cannabis will be even more potent again because you've cleared out those receptor sites. But like I said, if you need to use it, this is not telling you to not use the prescribed medication. And that goes for all medications. Use what you are prescribed, please. That's what we're removing, but what are we adding? So many vegetables. Berries, nuts, herbs, and spices that are blood movers like ginger, turmeric, black pepper. Juices for ease to trigger our blood sugar changes. We're still eating the rainbow like you've been doing. Apple cider vinegar twice daily, which are going to be those capsules that I sent you unless you want to take a straight apple cider vinegar shot. And herbal teas like ginger, chamomile, peppermint. You're also going to be drinking so much water. Oh my gosh. I am somehow perpetually an anti-water person. My body doesn't tell me I'm thirsty until the end of the day, which actually is like a nervous system problem thing. I'm working on it. So I definitely was not able to get in this much water. Please try your best. I'd recommend grabbing the gallon water bottle off of Amazon or any of your local suppliers because it makes it so much easier to try to get in all this water. And this doesn't include the teas. So you need the water plus the teas. It's funny, people think, oh my God, if I drink this much water, I'm going to be going to the bathroom all the time or I'm going to get super bloated. And you actually don't. Maybe the first day or two, you're going to notice a super surge and like having to pee every hour, and then your body regulates. It takes the water from the interstitial space and actually puts it into the cells where it's supposed to be, and you don't have to pee all the time. It's super cool. How much you're eating, we're doing the same calculation that you did for month 1, except this time we're going to add even more calories if you can. Check in with me if you're having issues even through the first month getting in all of the things you're supposed to be getting in, because it is a lot of food and most people are not eating that. So do the same calculation. Your weight might have changed since you started a month ago, and then add 100 to 200 calories above your base metabolic rate. Then you're going to go onto the student portal and you're going to see there are different options, 2,000, 2,200, and 2,400. I don't want anyone below 2,000 if we can help it. And I honestly don't want anyone above 2,400 because that's just too many calories for what we're trying to get up to at this time. So you're going to pick the closest plan to what you just calculated. We are, as I've said, working on blood sugar, so glucose and insulin regulation. So timing is really important. Insulin is highest in the morning, which is why we give you that smoothie full of sugar straight up. It's going to help to regulate over time. That also means we need to help it regulate over time. So please don't allow more than 2 hours to go in between your food intakes, your meals during the day. If you have to skip something, because I know I do sometimes, I have 3 back-to-back clients and I can't get a meal in, that's okay. Eat as soon as you can. And then I'd offer, try not adjusting the timing then. So let's say I was supposed to have my 3 p.m. smoothie and I couldn't have it till 4, but I was planning on eating dinner at 5. I'm not going to move my dinner to now 6. I'm going to have my smoothie and then have my dinner. Play around with this. Every person is different. Some stomachs just still can't do that and you'd have to move your dinner to 6. Everything is an option. It's about what works for you and your body. If you need help troubleshooting, that's what I'm here for. You have the option to monitor your glucose. You can grab, this is like $30, and I don't specifically recommend this company in particular. It's just an image I grabbed off of what was available on Amazon. You can grab a glucometer from Amazon, really cheap, and you can measure your fasting insulin, so in the very beginning in the morning, and then what it is post meals. This can be really helpful if you do have something like PCOS. We want to see what's going on with your glucose and insulin. If these numbers, when you send them to me, look really off, we might work with my medical partner to get you on a continual glucose monitor, which goes on your arm. You've probably seen people with them, to monitor it continuously. So this is not necessary. It's fun to have the data and it's easy and it's a good thing to keep track of, and you can do it at home. You don't have to go to the provider to get a lab to go get your blood drawn in the morning as soon as you wake up to get a fasting glucose number. You can do it at home. Meal planning. You're having 6 meals a day, which sounds like a lot, and it can definitely be a lot. The exact portions of these are not as important as the theme, the framework. I offer for you not to get stuck in a regiment of what this looks like. I want you to understand and become familiar with the process. So meal 1 is that medical food smoothie. The recipe is going to be in a couple slides and it's also in your PDF. Meal 2 is a complex fat, a fruit or vegetable, and some juice. Meal 3 is typically lunch. This is going to be protein, vegetables, and a starchy vegetable. Meal 4, more fruit, juice or bone broth, and a complex fat. Meal 5, medical smoothie. Meal 6, dark leafy greens, 1 cup of vegetable, fish. This is like dinner, right? Complex fat and oil, some more juice. You even have a grain in there. I know this seems complicated now. We're going to go through 2 examples of what this looks like. So here's how we frame that out in example 1. Medical food smoothie, pretty simple. So let's say our snack, our like 10:30 snack, is some sweet potato with some salt, pepper, oil, and some of those spices on it. I love sweet potato with some curry powder. Delicious. And that would be my snack for 10:30 with some juice. Meal 3 is just lunch. So salmon and broccoli with some extra virgin olive oil and vinegar, some more salt, apple juice, and an apple. Meal 4, some bone broth instead of juice because I got tired of juice, a banana and some almond butter, and then I added a nice treat to myself, some cocoa nibs and some chia seeds. So I kind of have it's what I do instead of ice cream. Obviously, the bone broth doesn't go in the bowl with the banana. I have had to clarify that before when people say that tastes disgusting. Yes, I imagine that would taste disgusting. Meal 5 is another medical smoothie, and meal 6 is just dinner. A lamb sausage with some cooked collard greens, a Japanese sweet potato, which if you haven't tried the Japanese sweet potato, I highly recommend, and yeah, just some normal barbecue sauce that I made sure did not have any emulsifiers like soy lecithin or any other ingredients in it that I wasn't trying to eat. Right? So not that hard. You can do it. Second example, meal 1, medical smoothie, my snack, hummus and a bell pepper. They're super simple with some apple juice. Meal 3, this is like my salad I have pretty frequently with some salmon and some greens. And then my dressing was just extra virgin olive oil and some vinegar. Meal 4, I had some of that bone broth again. And then I had an apple and a cup of carrots and some hummus. So I did have 2 servings of hummus today, but that's okay because that was still pacing my food, pacing my glucose. Should I have tried to switch it up? Probably, but that was easier to grab on my way out the door. Again, framework, not specifics. Meal 5 is a medical food smoothie. Meal 6 is our dinner. And for dinner, I had some dark leafy greens, more sweet potato, a cup of cooked carrots, which I really like, small avocado, some salmon, and then some more juice. This is the smoothie. You're having this twice daily. For breakfast and your 3-ish p.m. snack. You're going to have the Metapure powder, which is vanilla wafered flavor. It actually doesn't taste too bad. Chia seeds, fennel. When you freeze the fennel, you actually can't taste the fennel-y taste for those people like myself who do not understand how people eat black licorice. Spinach or kale, frozen fruit of any kind. I recommend the berries over banana or mango, which are higher fructose. Apple, pomegranate, or carrot juice. You can do pear juice in there. I love this beet, carrot, I forget what else is in it, juice that I grab from Sprouts. Super yummy. So it's not specific to just those 3 juices. And then I like to pre-make these. I put all my fruit and veggie ingredients and chia seeds in a Ziploc bag and toss them in the freezer so that way I can just pull them out and add the medical food and the juice and the flax oil to the blender, and it makes this go so much quicker. Some people do like to pre-make them entirely and save them in mason jars and keep them in the fridge. I find that then they are more like juice and less like smoothie because they don't have the, blended frozen fruit. So I don't like that, but you also are welcome to drink them that way. Here's a list of what those categories entail that we were dealing with for the menu. So when I say a complex fat, here's some examples of that. Some veggies, fruits, and protein. Notice, again, we're not having that chicken. You're really going to want to think fish first. Salmon, shrimp, tuna, catfish, cod, flounder, tilapia. Salmon is going to be your best ones. Try to get it wild caught, not farmed. Turkey, ground or whole, not lunch meat turkey. I highly recommend just grabbing a whole honkin' turkey and throwing it in the oven like you do at Thanksgiving. And having that to just grab and add into your meals or your snacks is really simple. My family actually buys turkeys around Thanksgiving because they're much cheaper then. And we keep them in a deep freezer through the year. So you just grab and go. I've created a shopping list for you to try and use if you're going to the grocery store to make sure you have everything that you're going to use. I would also offer that this is not complete. If there's something that you love that isn't one of the foods we're avoiding that you want to still be eating, then go for it. That's totally fine. If you have some of this stuff in your pantry already, then don't go buy it new. You don't have to get all new stuff just to start this plan. In the PDF, you also have some recipe ideas. My favorite is probably the sheet pan maple mustard salmon. Yeah, look, you can have maple syrup. This is so good. I get the Dijon mustard from the farmer's market, so it's really potently Dijon-y. So try these out. Whew. All right, you made it through about the flush. I know it seems daunting at first. You're like, oh my God, I don't know what this is. Print out the PDF. You can have it on your fridge. So when you're thinking, what do I have to plan for today? You can have the reference right there. Especially the first couple days, write down what are you going to have in each meal and make sure you have that in your fridge available. That's why I love the shopping list. Go grab all the stuff. Make sure you have it in your fridge. That way, when you're on day 5 and you didn't think, what am I having this day before day 5, you know you have everything that you need in your fridge already. If you have questions, as you know, that's what I'm here for. You've got this. Namaste.